Concert tickets do not feel expensive when the first number flashes on screen. They feel expensive when checkout turns $79 into $129 and you realize the cheap seat was only the opening offer. That is why the story matters. Fans are not just paying for live music anymore. They are paying inside a system built to win the click first and explain the real price later. This is business case signals. The hardest part for buyers is not just the total. It is the sequence. A low ticket price gets your attention, gets you invested, gets you choosing a seat, and only then shows you what the night really costs. That timing matters, because once people imagine themselves going, many of them stop comparing and start rationalizing. This story is hot again because the legal pressure finally caught up to the consumer anger. On April 15, 2026, a jury found that Nation and Ticketmaster had unlawfully maintained a monopoly over big concert venues. The Associated Press said the verdict could cost the company hundreds of millions and reflected a jury view that fans had been overcharged by about $1.72 per ticket. That does not sound huge by itself, but at scale it validates something millions of people already felt. The system was tilted against them. The Federal Trade Commission already moved on hidden ticket fees in December 2024. Its junk fees rule requires businesses to show the true total price, including mandatory fees, whenever they advertise live event tickets or short-term lodging. That matters, but it is also important to understand what the rule does not do. It does not ban fees. It only says the all-in number has to be shown more clearly. So the legal direction changed, but the consumer feeling did not disappear overnight. The deeper story is not one fee. It is the stack behind the fee. When the Justice Department sued in 2024, it said the live music industry was broken because Nation Ticketmaster had an illegal monopoly. The company was not just selling tickets, it sat across promotion, venue relationships, and ticketing at the same time. That kind of vertical control makes it much harder for any single piece of the market to discipline price on its own. That is why concert ticketing feels different from buying a shirt or booking a table. If one company helps control the show, the building, and the ticketing channel, then the fan does not meet a normal market. The fan meets a managed funnel. And managed funnels are very good at presenting one price first and the painful part later. The fee stack is not random noise. It is part of the business model. In a later 2025 complaint, the FTC said Ticketmaster hid mandatory fees that could run as high as 44% of the ticket price and often did not add them until the end of the transaction. That is the whole logic of drip pricing. Keep the first number competitive, then rebuild the economics after the buyer has already committed attention. For fans, that feels deceptive. For the platform, it is highly effective. Dynamic pricing makes the experience even harder to trust. When the same seat feels like it is getting more expensive while you are watching, the price no longer feels like a posted rate. It feels like the system is reading your urgency and charging you for it. Economically, the logic is familiar. Limited inventory plus intense demand invites price discrimination. Emotionally, it feels like the fan is being punished for wanting to go. So why do people still pay? Because live events are not normal purchases. They are time-boxed, emotional, social, and hard to replace. If the show is next month and your friends are going, there is no real second-chance algorithm in your head. That means fans often absorb pain they would reject in almost any other category. The system works because emotion narrows the space where rational comparison usually happens. The most important reality check is that the verdict brings no immediate relief. The AP made that point clearly. The ruling validates the problem, but fans do not wake up the next morning to radically cheaper seats. That is because legal wins can change structure slowly while pricing pain is happening in real time. So this is not yet a rescue story. It is still a system story. The reason the antitrust case got so big is that the pressure was never only on fans. The New York Attorney General and the state coalition argued that the same monopoly power boxed out rival ticketing services, venue owners, and concert promoters too. In other words, the consumer pain at checkout was the visible symptom of a much deeper control problem underneath the market. The business lesson is simple and ugly. If a category can hook you with a low first number, then monetize you after you are emotionally committed. The first price stops being information and becomes marketing. That is what happened to concert tickets. Cheap became the ad. Checkout became the truth. That is why concert tickets can feel like a scam even when the show itself is real and the fan still decides to buy. The anger is not just about paying more. It is about discovering the real price after the decision process already started. Until buyers see the all-in number early and meaningful competition returns, cheap concert tickets will keep meaning expensive nights.